look at my garden. Beautiful. Get that. Oh, good day, Uncle Cal. Good day. It's so good to see you. For some reason, it ain't showed up on the number. That's usually what I look at. But, it's good to see you. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I just opened my blinds and my carrots it is huge. Finally. I want to tote it in here so you can see it. I'm going to let you see it, Uncle Cal. Oh, my Baba. Oh, you know. Come on, baby. Come on, sweetie. Come on with Mama. Look. I think this a carrot. Oh, sweetie. I'm going to have to go out and... Yeah. The last label I got on it is carrot. I think that's what you see her. Look at her. Honey. I don't care if we pull out 2 or 12. Oh, there, baby. Yeah. I'm coming to you in just a minute. I'll pile a little more dirt on it so she can be strong. A little bit more soil on it. Hold on. I got to do it while I'm thinking about it because she is hanging over. Oh, there you go. Come on. I'm gonna show you to the world and then don't give you no water. You know? I was not gonna show you to the world and not give you no water. Come on here, Dave. Come on. Oh, thank you, ancestors, because I be stressing about grown garden. It just seemed like it wasn't doing nothing. And I've been trying stuff. I was trying to put some coffee grounds on it, and the coffee grounds just went straight through the filter, through the thing, because I didn't have a filter. I was trying to use something else. And it all just disintegrated and stuff. So just keep at it. Just keep at it. You know, it's trial and error for me. This is trial and error. And I'm okay with it. Let me use some of this sanitizer right fast. I didn't make it on last night. I made a pallet on the floor and set my alarm like I really was going to get up. Oh, I know, but let's read because we get into chapter 7 in POWERNOMICS. Yes, just for the simple fact, and it is a fact that reparations is owed to our people. You know, I can't stress it enough. Once this new currency hit, this cashless society, they're going to try to say, they're going to use that to void our demand for reparations. Hey, this is a whole new currency. It ain't got nothing to do with that debt. You see what I'm saying? In my opinion, that's why Black America need to go ahead and let them know, don't burn no more currency, no more money, no more coins, nothing, before it's too late. That right there, this new world order, the cashless society, the autonomous vehicles, and this new world and stuff, all that ties in together for something new. They gonna say that right there ain't got nothing to do with the old no more. Somebody better go ahead and let them know. Don't burn no more of the old money then. Well, why you done gave it all away without giving us anything? You done dispersed it between every group of people here and there without giving us anything. Now, in right in our face, you're burning it. You finna burn it all and act like you ain't got this debt that must be paid. But that's all right. What's gonna be is gonna be. It's gonna be. It ain't my fault. And Black America, it ain't your fight. Your fault. White folks, it ain't your fault directly. But you could have stood up. White America could have stood up and said, hey, you got to pay this. Now, I've seen some scholars, some white scholars too, that's saying that debt must be paid. You did wrong. Now, they ain't saying it as profoundly as, a perfect world they would be saying it. But that right there don't absolve anybody from the guilt and the judgment that's coming down for what happened to my ancestors. It don't. But, I digress. Let's read. And until it's paid one way or the other. One way or the other. Do y'all know it's a volcano? I forgot where it's at. ain't erupted in like 600 years. And the volcano finna erupt. And I forgot if it was China or Japan. One of them and stuff got flood, water. Looked like brother said the water was coming from under the ground. The water was clear. It looked like it was in a pool or something. I don't know. I don't be on TikTok and Instagram like that. But it's so much happening in the rest of the world. We can't help but see it and hear it if you on social media, unless you, and this might be some of our friends and family and aunties and uncles, stir they ass where Black media is at and let them know what to be looking for. That way their algorithm will cue them in on what's going on in the rest of the world. Because I imagine me, if I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't be seeing it either. But what I do get into on the internet, it will lead me to us. I'm just saying some of our friends and family, what they into and stuff, it's like a cyber city away from Black media. It's so far away. But all we got to do is help them to get that algorithm right so they can see what's going on in this world, in this country, about Black people. They're going to see other people and stuff too, and I ain't saying that it ain't happening to them. And it's traumatizing, it's life-threatening for everybody. But everybody else got something. We ain't got nothing. Black America don't have nothing. Nobody. Everybody always got limits to their help for us. Everybody got limits to help us. And now them limits they're gonna have to lighten up on them. They're going to have to lighten up on them. The same way, yeah, keep your religion if you want to, but you might want to consider adding some more religions to it, since you know, because I didn't know over 4,200 different religions. I didn't know that Jesus was not the virgin-born deity, the first virgin-born deity. He wasn't. I thought he was. So let our family and friends know. You know, they sit up there and be on that internet all day too. And they ain't seen nothing. They ain't seen nobody that let them know, hey, that's going on in the world, that's going on in the country and stuff. They have no idea about it. Our masses need to know these things quick. That's another way to sacrifice us and leave us behind, because we don't reach out and tell us and stuff what's going on. And we don't know. Well, copyright disclaimer under 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news support, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and read, because I'm trying to get to chapter 7 and see what Dr. Claud suggests for us to do. We all on this political bird, this big-ass vulture, been riding on it, just riding. Everybody else on top of the vulture. Comfortable. Seat belted in with feathers. We hanging on the bottom. Hey, just reaching over there to the Democrat side and reaching over there to the Republican side. Something got to give. Now, it's been several attempts for us to have our black political party. It's got to be another attempt. This very well may be your last opportunity, Black America. You need your own black political party. If you're going to get anything, how do you think other people get stuff? They go out and vote for what they want. We don't. I didn't know either. Sure didn't, honey. I do remember the 3 branches, but vaguely. You know, I'm just saying now we got to start paying attention to this so we can at least know enough what to go for now. We got to go for something else. We can't stay on this same vulture that we've been on. We cannot do it. We can't stay at the same table. Motherfuckers is kicking us and shit, and throwing scraps at us and stuff. We ain't even sitting at their table. We sitting under the table, like on that one movie. What was that movie? It wasn't Amistad, where they were eating. A brother suggested, and the babies was under the table, and they was like, no, don't give them no food. Don't feed them. Don't give them no food. And they raised up the tablecloth, and the black babies was under the table. Then they spanned the room, and another black baby it was a fan up there. He was standing in the corner, pulling the thing like that to fan the white people and stuff. Then there was another baby over there, and he was literally fanning with 2 fans. He had 2 big old fans, bigger than him. But I'm just saying, we got to get our own. We got to get our own. Finally, want your own. Want your own. Let's read. Anyway, chapter 6, industrialization, using your new paradigms. And that'll be the ethno-aggregation and the vertical integration. Building, awesome, I think. Building industries is the first step toward building monopolies. In chapter 5, we stress the importance of Black Americans constructing traditional business communities and practicing group economics based upon their competitive advantage of being a nation within a nation. The envisioned retail business communities would be a good first step. However, retail outlets would not be enough, especially if they are constructed as standalone businesses. They lose the unique advantages of being a part of a new developing Black community. We need complementary businesses that can produce interrelated products and services to magnify our competitive advantages in the marketplace. The nature of complementary businesses allows them to be vertically integrated into an industrial framework that can attract, hold, and redistribute large amounts of wealth and technological resources. Black America needs to own and operate industries within its own business communities that are competitive with businesses outside the community. In our use of the term industry, we are referring to certain types, classes, or collections of businesses and business activities that are needed to fully provide and satisfy a consumer demand for a finished product. It's not necessary for Black Americans to own and operate every kind of business, nor is it practical. We are marginalized people who are coming into the business world 400 years late. We 20 years late on this book. I am. Collectively, we all are. But Dr. Claud just said we 400 years late. Behind the industrial power curve, Black Americans are in the Stone Age in terms of industrial development. Although slavery begot capitalism, which begot industrialism, which begot a continuous flow of technological advances, Blacks were never the owners or direct beneficiaries of what their labor produced. Throughout the industrial revolutions, Blacks remained contoured. Blacks remained captured, but loyal consumers and mere spectators chained to the lowest rung of the industrial ladder. The closest they ever came to industrializing occurred between 1965 and 1900. During this brief period, about 3.6% of Black Americans were engaged in some form of manufacturing. Today, other than as workers, the number of Blacks in manufacturing has shrunk to approximately 1%. Neither white nor Black leaders seem to grasp the importance of industrializing Black America. If Black people do not experience industrialization, a critical developmental process, there's little chance they will ever be able to compete in cyberspace or the evolving New World Order. Without industries, there's no mechanism for producing Black-owned and controlled technology. Ooh, I am so grateful for our critical thinkers and our creators, our engineers that are out there. It's a little silver lining, but through them, only through them, do we have a chance to even catch up as far as what he's talking about right here, the technological aspect of things. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even be interested, having this little interest in technology like we are. Nope. I think if it wasn't for our greatest minds, our critical thinkers, being on the internet and stuff, once I got done and tired with Facebook, I wouldn't have even been on here. Nope, sure wouldn't. And everybody know it but us, but let's read. Whites and ethnic groups were economically advantaged by industry while we were being economically disadvantaged. White and ethnic groups were economically advantaged by industry while we were being economically disadvantaged. They have a history of being producers, operating business communities, and closing consumer markets to outsiders. But the technological revolution that is evolving offers us, me and you, a chance to improve our status. We can build special industries and become producers. Special industries. You know what that means? Special. Wait till I finish this paragraph right here. We can become special industries and become producers. Our industrial goal should not be to produce everything that Black people need. Our goal should be to build industries that primarily produce products and services over which Black people can establish competitive advantages or monopolies. It is around these group-based advantages and monopolies that we can build both vertical industries and supportive business communities. Whoa, that was deep right there. But honey, them special industries, I just want to say, them special industries to me is like our ancestors, the things that our ancestors created. Whoever knew but cosmic energy. that the creations they invented and patented would be very necessary, useful for life itself. Charles Drew, the pacemaker. I'm just saying, all of our inventions, everything from the hot comb that I can't wait to get in there and press and curl my hair up again and stuff, honey. All of those things that they created, they were special. They were special, unique, honey. Could never be duplicated. Sure, but they were stolen though. They were stolen. But they couldn't, that's what he mean by them special, creations and stuff that's coming from us, y'all, them special industries. And it's bigger than that, because we talking about all across the board. Whatever your gift, your talent, your cosmic talent is in you, is special. And when you hone it and you polish it up and contribute it to your people, the goal that it is special. It's a special industry. I know in my small mind and stuff, I'll go with a hair store, your hair empire as an example. Or you can use anything and stuff, but on a more fundamental level and stuff, I want us to see that all of our creations are necessary. Remember when I told y'all that we got to let our babies be able to freely think and be able to freely have their own thoughts and focus and their own interests and stuff and what they like. They're the only ones. We are the only ones that's going to invent, create, build, patent the necessary tools and things that we're going to need in a new world order. The same way our ancestors started creating everything you see out there. Everything you see out there, they created it for this reality right here. This fake ass reality they got us living in. Misused everything. This could have been a peaceful life, but I ain't going to get off track though. But the same way they created all that is the same way our children, us, our minds, our thought, our visions, going to have to create for the new world order so we can sustain. Take, for example, the autonomous cars. You ain't going to be able to get in the autonomous cars. They're going to be a danger to you. Because at some point, it ain't going to open up for you. That car going to take your ass right on the hill where it's taking you to. Not where you want it to go, where it's taking you, possibly to a smart city. I don't know. We're going to need other means of transportation. We're going to need other means of survival and stuff that we can trust. That's the only reason I'm saying this. Because everything else that's been done against my people, why not lock our asses in the goddamn Teslas? And what other vehicles come after the Tesla? Because they see that's the model. But other vehicles also will be able to lock your ass in the new world order. Everything finna be different. Why not? Why that's got to be too far out in left field? I'm just saying, to me. So yeah, I can see that our babies are the ones that are going to create our youth, your toddlers that you got at home. Yep, your nieces, your nephews, teenagers and stuff. They in that kind of thing. Help them out. Take them on up there to the thrift store. I don't know, Hobby Lobby. I guess find some black places where they can go get the tools they need. If you can't, because we ain't got none, then work on getting what they need anyway. You get what they need anyway, and you help them get there, because we got to start building all this stuff up. We just got to. I hope I can do more than just read to y'all, because I want to be active too. I need to be active too. I want to do more than just read. Our industrial goal should not be to produce everything that black people need. We ain't got to produce everything that we need. Our goal should be to build industries that primarily produce products and services over which black people can establish competitive advantages or monopolies. It is around these group-based advantages and monopolies that we can build both vertical industries and supportive business communities. Technology and the case for industrialization. There are a number of critical reasons why Black America must have its own industries. The most overarching reason is that owning industries will enable us, y'all, to become a competitive, independent group. Us. Also, our own industries will enable us to fully utilize our cultural, financial, and human resources. No other group is going to do it for us, and we should not expect it. If any other group say they're going to do it for us, you better be suspicious. You better be on the lookout. Yes, honey, I got me some ancestor money. Yes, I finally got me some ancestor money. Baby. And yep. Black people have been rendered an obsolete labor class by public policies and technology. Industries are the primary building blocks of wealth. Only industries have the muscle to build solid economic communities and eradicate our non-competitiveness. Industry will become increasingly consequential to Blacks. Wealth, power, and technological readjustments have left market gaps. If Black America does not industrialize now, we run the risk of never being able to do so. If Black America does not industrialize now, we run the risk of never, ever being able to do so. How would we in a new world? Going into a new world order, you won't be using what was in the old world like that, Black America. So where would that opportunity come for you to do it again, to use it again, to take that opportunity again? It possibly won't. It possibly won't, y'all. This nation is moving onto thin ice and it's taking Black America with it. The industrial and manufacturing sectors continue to decline because this nation's corporate and political elite have mistakenly convinced themselves that computer technology and computer-based information will be the world's greatest wealth producers in the foreseeable future. And not only you can't get in it, you don't understand it. It's not made readily available to us. So that's like, they really loving that, honey. Like the man who stared too long into the sun, the power elite is blinded by the wonders of technology. Small and large businesses are rushing to build industries around the manipulation of high-tech information rather than owning the physical resources and traditional brick and mortar industries. They want to join those who have become multimillionaires overnight by either investing in or building businesses promoting high-tech wizardry. Information-based businesses are held up as the nation's dream models. The dot-com businesses have made so much money that traditional businesses must find ways to keep revenue flowing and keep up with technological developments. But there's not a pot of gold at the end of every rainbow. Many dot-coms are going out of business because they lack the brick and mortar to fulfill their electronic promises. Despite some developing dark clouds, technology is becoming a religion with its own high priests and miracle workers. Corporate executives and politicians alike gamble that they can make profits and wealth by simply utilizing advancing technology to create intangible, specialized information. There is no doubt that great opportunities for profit and wealth exist in high tech and information. But at the bottom line, neither high profits nor specialized information can replace tangible products, especially those that are essential to life, such as food, water, and clothing. As companies choose information over tangible products to produce and distribute, this nation will soon have no fallback industries if the technology gamble falls. So once technology falls, what you gonna have then? What you gonna have then? Imagine the whole country, not to mention the whole world going cashless, I guess, hell, shit. But this whole country go cashless. Then it blacks out, it stops. You ain't got no cash. You ain't got nothing. You can't even drive your car. Technology just shut down. The grid or whatever happened, I don't know. One of them spaceships just went ahead and shut every goddamn thing off, And so then what? Your car won't go nowhere. Your house won't let you in or out because Alexa ass done locked the door. I'm just saying. Alexa has locked the door soon as everything shut off and stuff. The windows won't let up because they work by your technology. Your house is smart. I'm just saying, it's not really for us, Black America. Technology and Black America. As the nation moves in this risky direction, it perpetuates the propaganda that what is good for white America is equally good for Black America. Technology has not significantly improved the socioeconomic status of Black people anywhere in the world. Technology is advancing while Black people are either standing still or regressing. High-tech advocates refuse to acknowledge the extent to which racial beliefs intrude into the development and use of technology. They argue that market forces will cause the right decisions to be made, yet market forces are racially biased. They respond to those with the greatest economic and political powers. In the context of globalization and cyberspace, Black America can take some protective steps to insulate itself from some of the risks that this nation is taking. Black America does not have to totally follow the majority society. Ain't that what I've been saying? Here it is. Black America does not have to totally follow the majority society. I might have to call Dr. Claud again and speak to Sister Joanne, because where is that at? Where is that at? Because my people seem to be under the impression that we do, and we don't. I gotta read that again. Black America, you do not have to totally follow the majority society. Black America has options. Black America has options in your own right, honey. Cosmic energy, honey. You got options, baby. If it acts like a nation within a nation, it can set its own direction in some matters, a direction that is in its own best interest. Black America can craft its own industrial policy that includes a realistic role for the use of technology. In terms of competitive advantages, Black America would be much better off competing with third and fourth world nations rather than going head to head with major white industries in America. Black America would be much better off in terms of competitive advantages against white folks. Black America would be much better off competing with third and fourth world nations rather than going head to head with major white industries in America. We got to do our own thing. We got to be for us. We live different. We think different. Y'all asses just perpetrated us living exactly like white folks. I'm not no white woman. I don't live, think, dress, talk, act, meditate, none of that like any white woman. I resonate like my Black mother, my Black grandmother, my Black great-grandmother, my Black aunties and great aunties. But y'all done got us thinking that we exist, we survive, we live like white women doing stuff, and we don't, sisters. We got our own vibe that's very unique. We the closest thing, my sister, that comes to the earth's heartbeat. It's us. Us. Not nobody else on this planet. And we got some very spiritual groups of people on this planet. Like Krishna. I think it's the Hindus. I like Krishna, some of that music and stuff. I like it. It's real calm and peaceful, and they seem very high vibrational in their honoring of a higher power and stuff like that. So, it's just religion. Done a number on us, done fucked up our mind. Yeah, honey, we got to get right. Prerequisites for industrialization. Black America has the nuts and the bolts to industrialize. Now, this right here was 20 years ago. we really got the tools he's talking about now. We really got them. All we got to do is find each other, and I'm sure somebody already working on this. Maybe it's Dr. Boyce Watkins. I don't know. I know he do get, I think his is Black Wall Street or something like that. I'm going to have to find out where it's they at. And why they ain't let us know that it's time. And get started with little small increments of teaching us and brushing us up on, these courses and stuff that's meant for us. Prerequisites for industrialization. Black America has the nuts and the bolts to industrialize. Many third world countries that have fewer resources and competitive advantages than Black America have successfully industrialized. Black America has the required educated class, surplus workforce, raw and cultural resources, disposable incomes, pools of capital, consumer markets, and most importantly, some of the best infrastructure improvements in the whole wide world. Black America. Having the physical infrastructure in place allows Black America to start industrializing immediately. White society abandoned the inner city infrastructures more than a half of a century ago. They left Black America the public infrastructure that can serve as empowerment tools to produce wealth and technology. Considering what they possibly trying to take back or have taken back. It bears repeating that within most inner cities, there are billions of dollars of worth of wealth in infrastructure. It bears repeating that within most inner cities, there are billions of dollars of wealth in infrastructures, such as expressways, communication systems, water and sewer facilities, buildings, airports, educational institutions, and hospitals. Most of the inner city resources are directly under Black political control, but they must be defended. The majority white society realized it abandoned this wealth and is now seeking to retrieve it through concepts such as regionalization, municipal sharing, and privatization. With the instruction in place, Black America can build its industries and begin to produce its own technology, just like any other nation. Technology and work. We discussed technology in previous chapters, but it is also a critical consideration in our discussion of industrialization. Over the course of the last 4 decades, millions of people have been permanently eliminated from the workforce by technology. Due to economic and political weakness, Blacks were the first to go during the 1960s. Technology made Black people an obsolete labor force. Every Black person displaced by technology represents a transfer of wealth to the owners of the technology. The owners benefit from the wages they no longer have to pay a Black labor force. Approximately 34% of the nation's Black workforce is either unemployed or underemployed. They have suffered from having little to no wages for centuries. The wages could have gone to enslaved Blacks. The wages that could have gone to enslaved Blacks were transferred to white slaveholders. In modern times, wealth is transferred to the business owners. Black people are always displaced. Yet dominant society continues to introduce technology because it enriches and empowers them. Now, unlike at any other time in history, computer-driven labor is extracting humans from the work equation. Some displaced workers re-educate themselves and become employed in new careers. Others find temporary or permanent time or part-time jobs, but large numbers simply drop out of the workforce, possibly forever. In his book, The End of Work, the noted economist Jeremy Rifkin writes about the relationship between technology and the economy. He paints a dire picture. According to Rifkin, the United States has entered a new phase in world history, one in which fewer and fewer workers will be needed to produce the goods and services used in this country. He says, There's a strong likelihood that by the year 2015, only 25% of the people working today will be needed to produce the same amount of goods and services. A part of the problem is the fact that even in an economic boom, about 95% of all newly created jobs go to white suburbs and not to Black inner cities. What happens to Black Americans who were unofficially declared an obsolete workforce nearly 40 years ago, and today they have a hidden national unemployment rate of 34%? Encouraging Black people to prepare for jobs in an expanding service industry is only a partial answer. Developing technology will probably wipe out 4 jobs for every 1 service-related job that it does create. Service-related positions in global markets may be acceptable for white Americans. They have never been a serving class. Service-related positions in global markets may be acceptable for white Americans. They have never been a serving class. Moreover, they have sufficient wealth and control of information technology to compete in a competitive global society. But what will happen to Black Americans who are already an impoverished, non-producing, completely consumptive group that never profited during the 450 years that they were forced to follow white America? What will happen to them? How will Black Americans compete? And who will protect their markets in a cyberspace or a global economy? No race or nation can progress strictly as consumers with magical technology. History shows that technology creates just as many problems as it resolves. It's gonna bring more problems for us. Technology and industrialization. Technology flows from industry, and a group cannot be strong and competitive without ownership and control of some technology. Technology has a multiplier effect on itself. Each new technological advance becomes the foundation for another innovation or advance. Technological competition is destined to intensify as we become more globally interdependent. Black Americans cannot compete in a global economics without industries and technology. Now is the time to get a toehold on some special industries, ones in which we have competitive advantages and can begin to produce our own technology. Otherwise, just as we have never benefited economically through the progression of low technology, we will not benefit economically from the progression of a more complex technology. We must start at the beginning by identifying and exploiting the competitive industrial advantages of being a Black nation within the richest nation on earth. A model. Japanese industrialization. That's a model. Let's read. If we use the concept of Blacks as a nation within a nation, Japan is an appropriate model for how to industrialize and become a major political and economic power using the concept of vertical integration. Vertical integration as a management concept was first used by the Ford Motor Company and Standard Oil more than a century ago, y'all, 100 years ago. This business practice allowed a single corporation to own and control all levels of a given industry. The corporation's top-down management controlled everything from the suppliers of raw materials to the distributors and retailers of finished products for the company. As used in POWERNOMICS, vertical integration is much broader. The Japanese shifted the use of vertical integration from a single corporation to a nation of businesses. Thus, they come closer to the POWERNOMIC concept of vertical integration. In addition to the economic feat, wait a minute, child. In addition to the economic feat Japan performed in World War II, it was discussed In addition to the economic feat Japan performed after World War II, which was discussed in Chapter 5, Japan did something else that is important to note. The Japanese linked vertical integration of their businesses with their strong family, cultural, and religious values to give them an edge over competing nations. The vertically integrated socio-economic system that they created is called Keiretsu. 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 Keiretsu, which is a closed-loop, cohesive group of corporations, suppliers, and financial institutions networked around a particular vertically integrated industry. Keiretsu protects Japanese industries, community markets, and their national economy. Japanese consumers and businessmen feel a strong sense of moral obligation to their Keiretsu network. It is their vertical chain of obligation, through which they support each other. This unity of purpose reflects an important cultural strength in Japan. The cultural value of first supporting and buying products produced by their own people. Japan industrialized around its cultural competitive advantages to better compete economically with other nations. Japan's national sense of trust, togetherness, and sense of peoplehood made it possible for industries in their country to take control of the markets for the goods their industries produce, like the cameras, the watches, and the toys, and VCRs, and televisions, and radios, and small automobiles. Japanese industries grew from small, faltering businesses to hugely successful corporations. People who used to laugh at things stamped "Made in Japan" began to see "Made in Japan" as an indicator of quality, baby. Japan and its Keiretsu, where is my phone? I thought I put it on the charger way over there, but it's loud. Japan and its Keiretsu have many features that Black America can study and adopt, y'all. Most important is Japan's closed economic loop that links Japan businesses and all segments of their community into a solid economic team. This is their greatest competitive advantage. Their team commitment and spirit lifted a militarily defeated, impoverished, resource limited minority population to economic superpower status. Economic superpower status. Can a similar but expanded vertical industrial policy do the same for Black Americans? POWERNOMICS principles advocate using a similar vertical linking of businesses to build group wealth and power. The fact that Keiretsu has been criticized and that Japan has experienced some economic downturns since the 1990s does not diminish the power of an example for Black America. Just because it's had its downturns and stuff does not mean, that it lessens the structure that we will gain from it, the benefit that we could gain from such an example. It still stands to be a worthy example for us. Rationale and criteria for industrializing. Any particular business sectors that Black Americans select to industrialize their communities, it must be based upon the strength of Black America's competitive advantages and the potential for vertically integrating the industries. The criteria that we use to determine our competitive advantages were presented in Chapter 5. Some of the competitive factors include high Black consumer demand, cultural identification, control of raw materials, and the potential to build vertically in whole or in part. Now, let's look at some industries using these factors as criteria. General industries like computers, boating, footwear, cattle, or construction industries would not meet our purposes. In a test of industries, we must determine the level of Black consumer demand. Are Blacks culturally attracted to any of these industries? Do Blacks dominate in either the production of raw materials or in spending patterns? Clearly, none of these industries have highly competitive advantages for Black Americans. They are horizontal industries, and they apply to everyone. In the construction industry, for instance, Blacks do not dominate the production or purchasing of paint, wood, or concrete. Blacks buy homes, but so do most of the other people in society. If everyone is equally represented, there are no competitive advantages for Blacks, and the opportunities are therefore horizontal, not vertical. Woo, that kind of made sense to me. Because this whole time, other than, what we have learned about the three major impediments and all of the monopolies and, the coalition building and the anti-Blackness and the ethno-aggregation and vertical integration, this right here just finally seemed like some more clickings together. So let me go back up just a little bit. In a test of industries, we must determine the level of Black consumer demand. Are Blacks culturally attracted to any of these industries? Do Blacks dominate in either the production of raw materials or in spending patterns? Clearly, none of these industries have high competitive advantages for Black Americans. And then would be the general industries like computers, Bolden, footwear, cattle, and construction. Those are the industries he was talking about there. These are horizontal industries, and they apply to everyone. In the construction industry, for instance, Blacks do not dominate the production or purchasing of the paint, the wood, or the concrete. Black people buy the homes, but so do most other people in society. If everyone is equally represented, there are no competitive advantages for Black people, and the opportunities are therefore horizontal, not vertical. Conversely, professional sports is a far different industry. This industry lends itself to vertical integration, and it is an approved venue for Blacks. Slavery made athletics a safe area in which Black people could emotionally and physically vent, compete, and dominate. The vertical integration of an industry works best when our competitive advantages are linked to our culture, our labor pool, our disposable annual income, and urban cities in which Black people have political control. Using our out-of-the-box thinking, we can take negative historical conditions and convert them into competitive advantages, such as concentrated populations and consumer spending patterns, which can help us to industrialize. For more details, see Chapter 5, Economic Action, Step 9, Promote the Competitive Advantages of Black Communities. How to industrialize Black America. This following section presents specific strategies. Black America can use to build industries, and discusses 3 strategies that incorporate POWERNOMIC principles useful for guiding the industrialization of Black communities. All right, recapture sunset industries. First, Black America's national industrial policy should prioritize I got to get this phone, y'all. I can't miss. I got somewhere to be. So we're going to be on time, though. But I can't be late. Now I ran over here. My phone ain't even over here, but where I hear it somewhere. Give me just a minute here. I said I was going to be on time. I want to be on time. And I need to have the phone. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we got like maybe 30 minutes. We ain't gonna finish this chapter though. Yeah, we're not gonna finish this chapter. I sure want to though. First, Black America's national industrial policy should prioritize the recapture of many of the major sunset industries. For the past 4 decades, this nation has competitively lost or voluntarily given the second and third world countries many bread and butter industries, such as steel, textiles, footwear, watches, household appliances, toys, and electronic equipment, including radios, boom boxes, televisions, VCRs, and kitchenware. As these industries left the United States, collateral damage resulted. The nation lost hundreds of thousands of supported businesses and jobs. Government trade and industrial policies, such as the 1994 North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, rewarded corporations that abandoned America and moved to third world countries. Communities throughout the United States, especially in Black neighborhoods, they suffered a double loss. While NAFTA modernizes Mexico's industries and successfully resolves Mexico's socioeconomic problems, it is creating new problems for Black Americans. This nation's public policies reduce the quantity of American businesses and jobs while increasing the number of businesses and jobs within competing nations. Since the 1990s, the NAFTA policy has created 2.6 million jobs in Mexico and boosted Mexico to the second biggest supplier of foreign-made goods to the United States. That sounds like a setup, don't it? From the very beginning, they knew they were going to move everybody. Yep. Somehow, they were going to migrate all the businesses. Yet, the same United States government failed to create an industrial program to help Black America resolve its national 34% unemployment, 38% poverty, and phenomenal overrepresentation in the penal systems in the very same cities that American industries abandoned. This is blind indifference towards Black America. I remember reading a few days ago that white America was either racist towards Black America or they were indifferent toward Black America. And still seem to be, in my opinion. Nations such as Mexico want the industries abandoned by the United States because they not only resolve many social and economic problems, but industries also bring wealth. They bring jobs, they bring political power and supportive businesses. Most importantly, industries enable the people to become producers. People with industries can produce power and wealth as well as products. The sunset industries that were moved to third world countries through treaties such as NAFTA, they could have been retrofitted and relocated into Black communities to provide an industrial base of wealth, business, and employment opportunities. Did you hear that? The sunset industries that were moved to third world countries through treaties such as NAFTA, they could have been retrofitted and relocated into Black communities to provide an industrial base of wealth, business, and employment opportunities. If relocated industries do well in third world countries like Mexico, why wouldn't they do equally as well in Black communities? Since Black Americans are a primary market for the products third world countries do produce, such as shoes and clothing, why can't Blacks build their own clothing and shoe industries? Then distribute those products to Black-owned businesses within their own consumer markets and communities. I mean, since everything like the factory that my mother worked at when I was a little girl, and that's the factory I worked at, my first job when I was 15. And all the factories moved overseas. Every last one of them, not only where I was at, but the others in the other counties, all of the factories packed their shit and they still empty as far as I know. Maybe one or two of them might have new businesses now, I don't know. But for a long time, they were still the building, the whole factory just empty and stuff. But then they making the products, what he's saying is they making the products over there and sell it to us over here. Why couldn't they have retrofitted those factories? My mother's was a clothing factory. Some of them might be machinery factories or, however, I don't know. But why couldn't they retrofit those factories, those industries for us, for Black America? But since they didn't, now we got to build our own factories. Got to build our own factories. You down south, wherever you are in them little hick towns and stuff, them factories is still empty. Y'all get together. Reach out outside of the box. We got to think outside of the box now. You need some help to buy that building, that land. You're going to need some help to fix it up, renovate it, whatever you got to do with it. But buy that factory. Buy y'all factories and stuff. Them stores and stuff in our communities and stuff, buy them. You got good credit. You got good credit. You can get something. Go get you a building. Go get you a building. Industries. You get some, that was a huge factor. I'm from a little bit of hick town. It wasn't huge like some factories, you know, but to me, where I was at and stuff, it might have like maybe 200 workers. Maybe 200 workers. That's quite a few. But imagine what all you could put in that factory. Imagine what all you could put in that factory and stuff, and start sewing. You got your seamstresses right there if you're going to keep it a seamstress factory or a pressing factory. You got pressing factories where you learn how to press the machinery and stuff, all kind of stuff. Your shoe factory, your hair factory stuff. I mean, you can have more than one in it. You can do so much with it and stuff. That's what he talking about, them special industries. Because that seemed like that was set up. They knew after a couple of decades, they were going to take them jobs and move them. This whole diabolical scheme, y'all, been on us this whole time. Motherfuckers. But let's read, though, because we learning now, honey. Yep. The sunset industries that were moved to third world countries through treaties such as NAFTA could have been retrofitted and relocated into Black communities to provide an industrial base of wealth, business, and employment opportunities. And I thought NAFTA was like, you know, all of them companies and stuff like that, you know, you thought they were reputable. Growing up, when you hear about them and stuff, you know, you would think they reputable hell. But look at J&J, Johnson & Johnson. We putting all that baby powders on us and on our babies and stuff. But inhaling that shit give you cancer, fibroids and uterine fibroid and uterine cancer and stuff like that. You know, that's just fucked up. Motherfuckers ain't never harmonized shit. If relocated industries do well in third world countries like Mexico, why wouldn't they do equally well in our communities? Abandoned industries brought back into operation, just like all other industries, thrive wherever they are needed and supported. Some towns and businesses in the United States never accepted the myth that declining industries should leave the country. Some towns and businesses in the United States never accepted the myth that declining industries should leave the country. These old industries continue to do well within their established traditional communities. On July 6, 2000, the Wall Street Journal reported on one such town, Goshen, Indiana. Not Gary, Indiana, Goshen, 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 Indiana, which retains some of its old industries. The story reported that Goshen does not have many very high-paying tech jobs, but it does have a large number of middle-paying jobs, mostly in manufacturing. The manufacturing sector tends to pay higher wages to skilled and unskilled workers than many other industries. Goshen Industries retain jobs and they offer competitive salaries to its residents. This is the only one community that kept its industries. And I'm wondering, Goshen, is that a Black community in Indiana? I never even heard of it. If the United States government needs additional models of how to industrialize inner cities, a May 13, 2000 Washington Post article offers a suggestion. The Post story was about a national small business incubator program that is providing jobs, businesses, and light industries in rural communities across the United States. According to the article, there are more than 800 small business incubator programs in rural areas. This program was designed to help solve socioeconomic problems that inhibit business development, especially in small cities. Since the greatest need for this kind of program is in inner cities, why aren't urban Black Americans exposed to this kind of business development assistance? The article also stated that the smaller the town, the less margin for error in vision, planning, or financing. Most of the jobs the incubators have created pay. Most of the jobs the incubators have created pay $10 to $15 an hour. Those jobs pay 2 to 3 times the minimum wage. Such opportunities would be welcomed and quickly grabbed by the unemployed and the underemployed blacks in the inner cities. Just like the incubator programs mentioned above, some creative planning would allow for a number of abandoned industries to reopen and operate profitably within Black communities while paying decent wages. For example, most of the athletic wear and boom boxes in America are produced in the Far East. However, in America, it is impoverished Black people who buy approximately 40% of the expensive Air Jordan, Nike, and the other athletic brands and portable radios. Considering Black Americans' socioeconomic dilemma, it is worth noting that these consumer items that are primarily targeted to Black Americans, they provided jobs and business opportunities for workers halfway around the world. Thousands of Asian businessmen become multimillionaires from profits earned mostly from products sold to Black American consumers. Technology in an urban city factory, combined with public incentives and employee ownership. Technology in an urban city factory, combined with public incentives and employee ownership arrangements, can produce an athletic shoe just as inexpensively as low-wage labor in second and third world nations. Industries abandoned by the third world. The second way to industrialize Black America is to capture industries that are now being discarded in the second wave of third world industrialization. Many third world countries have a different industrialization problem than they had a couple of generations ago. Nearly a half century ago, they began to acquire discarded industries from the world's more technologically advanced nations. Now their economic prosperity and progression, coupled with their higher productivity, are forcing them into the race with second and first world economies. These countries must now either upgrade to a higher order of industrial competitiveness or risk falling back with the newly developing countries. Because of their previous success, they will have to move from low-wage, low-end manufacturing to more high-tech, high-paying manufacturing. The second wave of abandoned industries has already started in some Asian countries, where manufacturing corporations like Fujitsu and Motorola and others have relocated to take advantage of low-wage labor forces. Where they have relocated, these manufacturing industries have stimulated further industrial development and the growth of supportive businesses. Just like the flying geese referred to in Chapter 2, Japan plays the role of lead goose in industrialization, followed by a wave of East Asian and Southeast Asian nations. These successful Asian nations help other Asian nations by either relocating soon-to-be abandoned industries to those countries or by setting up complementary assembly and processing plant in the cousin countries. Japan, for instance, typically produces categories of consumer products that are passed down through a vertical chain of Asian countries and corporations. These Asian countries are economic aliens flying purposefully toward economic competitiveness. In this second wave of abandoned industries, Black America ought to be in a position to recapture the discarded industries and produce consumer goods that Blacks consume disproportionately. Japan and China have already passed down the footwear, textiles, clothing, and numerous household item industries to countries like the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. However, because they in with the new technology. Everything is about technology with them now. Everything is about technology with them now. So as far as the clothes, footwear, and all that stuff, radios and stuff, they send it to the other countries and stuff. We ain't picking up nothing that nobody putting down. But let's read. However, armed with a new empowerment vision and tools and demands on the United States government, Black America can bring some of these industries back into the United States and compete based upon its own competitive advantages. That's what we can do, and that's what we're going to do. Black America's leadership, especially the Congressional Black Caucus, can assist. Now, they can help. The caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, or the CBC, they can assist in recapturing these industries by aggressively demanding that the United States government begin to support the industrialization of Black American communities. And what is that all they had to do? Is that all? As Black, I got to underline it. Is that all they Black asses had to do? Demand that the United States government support our industrialization? How many words is that, 8? Man, I'm telling you the truth. As Black America begins building its industries, the Congressional Black Caucus should press for legislation and trade laws to protect these Black industries from unfair wage competition in foreign or third world countries. These trade laws and public policies could be framed as a component of the evolving Black reparations movement. The Black Caucus and Black Americans as a group should reject anti-protection arguments. The United States protects the cotton, sugar, wheat, and oil industries, as well as many others. The Japanese government uses keiretsu to protect its industries. They have special trade barriers to protect the leather industry that is owned and operated by the ETA, the Japanese socially despised and economic minority. If Japan can use trade barriers to protect the industries of its official minority, the United States government motherfucking ass has ample justification to erect trade barriers and provide subsidies for industries within Black America. Should Black America be deprived of the opportunity or fail to grab these discarded industries during the second wave, they can rest assured. You can best assured that they will be the primary consumer market for products developed by a new round of third or fourth world nations. Nearly all of the fourth world nations are Black countries. Sometimes they are referred to as the third world, or sometimes they refer to as the third world of the third world. How to build new vertical industries. The third way that Black America can industrialize is to simply survey all existing industries to identify those in which Black people are playing or could play a dominant role either as a major producer of the raw material or as a major consumer of the finished product. After an industry is identified, the next step is to determine whether it is possible for a Black startup industry to intrude into the larger industry and capture market share based upon Black skin color, culture, population, distribution, market loyalties, disposable income, government control, or other competitive advantages. As we industrialize our own, let me read that again though. After an industry is identified, say we'll make that clothing factory, we'll bring back that clothing factory. The next step is to determine whether it's possible for a Black startup industry to intrude into the larger industry and capture market share based upon Black skin color, Black culture, population distribution, market loyalties, Black disposable income, and government control or other competitive advantages. Yeah. As we industrialize our own communities, and I think we could, if it's based upon Black color, Black skin color, to capture this market, and it's based upon Black culture, because we love us and our culture. That's what everybody is secretly in love with, and just, Black population distribution. Yeah, we need to start buying our products. Buy our own products, y'all. What the heck? Well, why you still want to walk around looking like Polo, looking like Louis Vuitton and all that stuff? I'm just saying, all the time, every day. Some days put on some of your sister and brother stuff too. I mean, I would never wear name brands of them folks and stuff, because hell, I don't know them. They don't love my people. But I I don't know. I don't guess I would throw a product purse in the trash. I'll probably give it to some Sabrina somewhere or something like that. But I'm just saying we need to start wearing our stuff, make our stuff important again. And we can do this because there are people like myself, sisters like myself, don't wear nothing but black people stuff. They love to wear their black our peers, shirts and jeans and shoes and stuff, what they make, got their purses and stuff. It's beautiful. Population distribution. So yeah, we would be able to, distribute in areas and be able to go get, the merchandise, market loyalties. I think we do have market loyalties and stuff, because for me, myself, and you can't get me to put on nobody name brand. I don't care if it's brand new, still in the bag, in the box. You can't get me to put it on. So yeah, we do have some market loyalty. We got disposable income, somebody will come along and be like, yeah, well, I'm not even gonna buy this pair of Air Jordans today. I'm gonna go over here and buy 3 purses, each one for my sister, and it's gonna be decorated in what she like and stuff like that. I'm just saying. So yeah, I think we do have what it takes. As we industrialize our own communities, our intent should be to own and control a select number of industries and to control them from the top to the bottom as much as possible, y'all. From raw resources and manufacturing to distribution services and retail consumer markets, as much as we can. We want to mark each industry as Black America's territory. Black hair, that's Black America's territory. It's Black America's territory. Now, the hair that I was thinking about, the vision I had, it was a little small room in the back for, if you really want to get your weave done and stuff. But it was talking about natural hairstyles. My vision of, the hair care industry and stuff with the big, come out there with your afro. So glow. I'm just saying, but, the hair care industry and stuff, we should own it from the top to the bottom. Like I was saying, who the hell need some damn bergamot hair grease for black people? I'm just saying. Who the hell needs some hair grease? Who the hell needs some hair grease but black people? Who else need some herbal glow in their hair? Ain't nobody bit more putting no herbal glow in their hair than the man in the moon. But they got it sold up. We got to take it back. We're going to always need us some hair grease. It's peace in this hair grease right here. You hear me, honey? I thought I had 1 can of bergamot, but that's all right. I love hair grease. We love hair grease. We need hair grease. Now, you love hair like that. Shay love her like that. Your auntie, your cousin, help her get her a little, even if she start right there at the little storefront like everybody else start. Help her get her business going and stuff and get that empire going for her. Help her get her empire going for her. Whoever be helping her, yeah, somebody be helping her. Her little niece always come over there and she getting all her stuff up. Auntie, I got everything ready for you. Your shampoo and your everything is ready. Your towels is laid out for your washing and dry when they come in and stuff. She got staff. Already. Yeah, we was out of this right here, but I brought you this right here. And we didn't have no bergamot, but I brought you some hair food with vitamin E instead. I'm just saying. Little stuff like that. It goes a long way for us. Don't nobody need that but us. We need to take this back. And as we see right here and stuff, we got protection. We got a way we can phrase it and let them know that, hey, we need y'all asses to goddamn it stand up for Black America industrialization, industrializing our communities. Now, I'm not politically correct, but hell, we got some people out there that are. How to build new vertical industries. The third way that Black America can industrialize is to simply survey all existing industries to identify those in which Black people are playing or could play a dominant role, either as a major producer of the raw material. And I don't know why I wanted to read that again and stuff, because I was thinking about chicken, but I don't even like meat like that no more. But your restaurant, we'll just say your restaurant. Same thing with your restaurant. And see, that way with your restaurant, you can focus it and cater it more toward the healthy food. More, I know we love chicken and stuff, but we need to at least have some chicken. Get your chicken that's out of the yard and stuff. You know what's in them and stuff like that if you're going to do it and stuff. But you can cater to more healthier foods for us to eat. Not so much of the foods we used to eat just to eat it, because, you know, we're seasoned chicken so good you can't even tell it was a bird. You can't even tell because it be so good. And we can do this with anything. A daycare center. Yeah. On one part, you can have a daycare center. At the other part, you can have like a library at the top of it and stuff. On the second floor, you can have multiple things. The schools, libraries. Oh, honey. Because in the library, a vertical integration, you can even have a spiritual center in your library. Yeah, spiritual center in your library where people are going to watch documentaries, or they doing their research in there, they meditating in there and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. And on the side right there, you know, you got people quietly over to the side, you know, and they monitoring your vitals and stuff like that when you come in. And yeah. And it's vertical from the top to the bottom, you know, part of self-care, the self-care industry. You know, it's a lot of these things and stuff. You can have an herbal center in there, and Lemonade can have her herbal beverages in there and stuff like that. You know, I'm just saying, we can have it set up like that for us all across the board and stuff. We got to survey these things. This it right here. After this right here, yeah. After this right here, we'll start tomorrow with capitalizing startup industries. Ooh, that must be about the money. But let's read. So we need to try to control these as much as possible from the top to the bottom. From the raw resources and manufacturing to distribution services and retail consumer markets. We want to mark each industry as Black America's territory. You can't dominate the hair care industry no more. Not where we concerned. You better have nothing but white folks stuff in there. Because, ain't no need in having Bergamot in them Asian stores no more. We ain't coming over there to get it. You don't need World of Curls in your store no more. We ain't coming over there to get it and stuff. What they should do upon this point right here is everybody, hey, we understand y'all got you starting your industry. You starting to take over your own industry and stuff. Well, let us sell you half the merchandise. Not full price, but to help you. You are our people, our brother. We in this world together. We here in America want to help you, assist you, Black America. We give you that for you. Yes, we have Pantene. We have what that white stuff called White Owl. We have White Owl for us. These we have many much come. It's from us to you. Going forward in the new world order, that would be the right thing to do. No, $10,000, maybe $1,000. I write it off. I'm just saying. Anybody being sincere now, going forward, my vision may be different from yours and stuff. So see, because we don't want to have no harsh, hostile, future here with everybody else. We don't want to go forward with all this hostility and stuff. Yeah, they decide to do for themselves. Yes, we don't talk English no more. I mean, we don't want that right there. We all should be able to progress forward from this right here. And everybody on their own, for their own people, looking out for their own people, because we're going to look out for ours. Everybody should be able to do it just as peacefully as y'all motherfucking asses been doing it. Let's not get hostile. And let's not get motherfucking messy and petty because Black America want to get in and start doing it for us too. Now, let's not do that. Judgment already coming on y'all asses as it is. But let's read, because this is it right here. Yep. A Black-controlled monopoly will help stabilize Black communities by concentrating wealth and political power. Black-owned and operated industries can function much like a closed-loop geoeconomic system, similar to Japan's Keiretsu. Within a Black closed-loop system, we can own and control our own resources, y'all, production and consumer markets. Each contractor and all employees within the linked system would be expected to buy products and services from within the group itself. Once this happens, we will have transformed our currently overly dependent and subsidized neighborhoods into independent and self-sufficient communities. I'm sorry, I was thinking about some buildings that I know that's empty. Yes, I was just thinking about them and stuff, and I think they still are empty and stuff too. I don't know. I ain't been over there in a long time. But yeah, I'm just saying, Black America, the opportunities are endless for us. Now, we got another chance to begin this for us, for our babies, for our future. I think y'all, that's it. Yep, that's it. And I'm only like 4 minutes after. You know, I just try to go to 1:30 now. I don't like to waste our time and stuff, you know. Not that this is wasting time and stuff, but, you know, a lot of time I do be talking, commenting, my commentary and stuff. So that do takes away from it and stuff. But thank you so much for Uncle Kel. I thank you so much for hanging in there with me today, my brother. Because, yes, honey, I'd have been reading here, just reading to get it done and stuff. But I thank you for being here because we did it. We did it. Now go have a wonderful, beautiful day. I'm finna go out and stuff. I've been, you know, wanting the trees to talk to me and touch me and stuff. You see that video? On, I think it was on TikTok and stuff, where sister was standing under the tree and brother was standing under the tree, and he told the tree, you can touch me if you want to. And the tree touched him on the shoulder. Touch me. I'm just saying. But yeah, let's go out and pick up some dandelions and stuff and enjoy this beautiful day. Love our people and stuff. Just know we going through some things and stuff, you know. We going through some things, but that's okay because we still here to fix them. You know, and I'm going to let us go so I can go on because I don't want nobody to be saying, oh, yeah, she knew what we said we were going to do. She was going to help me. So I'm going to go do what I said I was going to do and be helpful today. And I'll be on tonight if the ancestors is willing and stuff. And just, I don't know, I don't like to be on really sleepy and stuff. But we're going to start our new book, Slavery. Yeah, somebody suggested it. I don't think this was the book they suggested. But, yeah, I want to go ahead and get started on that right there, to deal with the healing so we can get through with the healing. Hey, Fumbles! It is so good to see you. Oh, I wish I had some more time and stuff. We didn't finish POWERNOMICS, chapter 6. But we're going to start back with it tomorrow. And, yeah, we'll be reading Capitalizing Startup Industries. Yep, I'm going to go and assist some family right today. You know, some family, they be needing help, sisters and brothers and stuff, you know. Let's just not be afraid to ask us for help and stuff. I know, because as soon as I see some of them, I already know they want $1. You want a cigarette. I ain't even trying to smoke like that no more and stuff. I be so happy sometimes saying, honey, I ain't bought no cigarette. I ain't bought no pack of cigarettes. I get me some singles. You know, and then they be like, well, can you buy me a single? But I'm just saying, you know, let's just make it normal again where we can ask each other for help when we need it. You know, now some of us, we overdo it. We overdo it now. When you know you got people asking you for help and they overdoing it with you stuff, just let them know, honey, no, I done went and done this and that. Yes, I done this, that, and that. Yep, I was going to ask you if I could get my $50 back from you. But can you at least give me $20 of it? Oh, girl, I need to go on down here to this thing. Can you at least give me $20 of it? Yeah. And just let them know. Because if you'd have paid me that back, then I would have had it. But yeah, just set your boundaries. We just got to set boundaries. But I love you to life, and I love you to the afterlife.